Sam, hi, welcome to the Scenic Route. How are you?
I'm good, Jennifer. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm so glad the finer summer weather is making a comeback. And I'm like, yes, yes, I'm so excited.
Yes, it's the same in London. I think we had like the first sunny day in last 30 days. I finally
So bad. Yeah.
feel it's summer. Let's see how long it lasts. I
Yeah,
must
we'll take
start,
whatever we can get.
I must start by complimenting the name of your podcast. It's so beautiful. It's one of the
Thank
most beautiful names
you.
I've ever heard.
Oh, now you're just flattering me. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a spur of the moment thing where I'm like, yeah, I was talking to my coach at the time and I was like, it's really about like the journey. Like I'm always taking this, like whenever I travel, I always be like, nah, I'm taking the scenic route because it's always more interesting, right? I'm like, this is actually it. But like I'm open. And when I heard like, oh, Sam is coming on the podcast, I'm like, yes. Um, because you have a book called Money Mastery. So brace yourself, we're gonna talk all things money today. Um, but Sam, can you give us like a big, like a just kind of like an introduction of who you are, the crossroads, the scenic route you took that led you um to who you are today and what you're doing?
Thanks, Jennifer. Yes, so I'm Sam or Sameera, but most people call me Sam. I'm a money coach based in London. I became a money coach because, just like most women, I have had lots and lots of money mindset issues. You think of an issue, and I have had it. And because I was working through those issues, I just felt it was my mission in life to help other women who go through the same issue because everyone goes through money mindset issue. But as women, we have some specific issues which are very, very women specific and which you see more in women than
Mm,
you see in others.
mm,
That's what made me a money coach, and I really feel that being a money mindset coach is like being a fitness expert or a fitness junkie, because you have to keep working on your mindset. It's not as
mm-hmm.
if you have worked on it once and then it's all
Yeah.
done, it's
Mm.
fine. It's like, when you are trying to get fit, you reach one level, then you still have to keep doing the work to
Yeah,
either
you have to
stay at that
maintain and
level
you
or
mm,
go
mm,
a step higher to, if
mm-hmm,
you get more fit. So similarly with money, you have to keep working on your mindset. And once you reach a certain level,
mm-hmm.
you have to maintain that level, or if you want to go to the next level, you have to almost start from scratch and get into that money fitness
Yeah.
journey again.
I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about entrepreneurship, right? That a lot of people who are starting out feel like once I fixed this, I'm good. Fix this, whatever it might be. From almost, I mean, I'd say every one of my clients has had some kind of money mindset realignment over the course of working together. But the misconception is like we feel once I've done this, I've healed my money mindset, whatever it is, I'm done. I'm good. And it's like, that's not how it works, is it? Mm.
Exactly. And that is a reason why, if you see, there have been studies that people who win a lottery or they get a
Mm.
windfall, that most of them within 2 or 3 years would have lost all that money because the money came before, the mindset was there, and they automatically shift into what is their habitual money mindset unless they're working on it. And you hear of so many
Mm,
lottery winners
mm-hmm.
and you find out that they won millions, but now they are back to what they were before they won.
Oh, yeah, that is so true. I read that a lot of times. It's always kind of like these Daily Mail Boulevard Sun stories, right?
I
Like
know.
won 50 million pounds, lost 50 million pounds. Like why work us through that? Like why is that? Like, I mean, I haven't won the lottery, but I can relate. I'm someone who I'm an experienced spender, meaning I don't really care about things but experiences. So like, I don't know, going out for dinner to a nice place, whatever, vacations. And I am tight with my finances. I'm good, but at the same time, when there's like a big extra chunk of money coming in, it goes to savings and stuff. And then I'm like, where did it go? Right? Like, so I don't know. I'm not like going back to broke, but walk us through that. Like, what are the challenges if we're suddenly having a new income stream or something selling really well? What do we have to be mindful of?
So there are two things we need to be mindful of.
Mm.
I'll come to your point about the fact that you like experiences later, uh, because that ties up with the money personality part.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Mm.
one of the things why this happens is like, and this is a perfect example of I always see with my clients that something would be going really well, and either they would have a great launch, or like, they would, if they're one-to-ones, they would be getting like 4 or 5 premier or VIP one-to-ones in a month,
Mm-hmm.
but something will happen. Suddenly, like, it's almost like a
You get an unexpected bill or something like that. Like,
exactly. And this
oh.
is often this what it is it's a manifestation of our money blocks. And our money blocks often end up, because of our money blocks, we end up sabotaging our success. And our money blocks can be things like sometimes women are afraid of success because they think that being successful will make them less popular, or they will start earning more than their partner, or their
Mm.
or
Kind of like
they feel
deep-rooted
insecurity.
ideas of, yeah, and like deep-rooted ideals or ideas of who women are supposed to be, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not that long ago we couldn't hold a checkings account. Like,
Exactly. And also it is like things like, like women, as women, we often don't trust ourselves with money. So your subconscious brain is going, my God, like I'm getting all this money, but I feel I can't be trusted with it. So I'm actually going to like, self-sabotage by doing something that this money stops coming. Also, there's this very, there's one bone which, if I trained to be an actor, but if I ever get a chance into Hollywood, I have one bone to pick. You always see that women, if you see them in movies or media,
mhm.
a rich woman is never a nice woman. A rich, so
Yes.
there's always this thing about that if you are a rich woman, so if you see in any movies, a rom-com, the rich woman is always the vamp.
Yeah, the nasty
The,
one, the mean bitch.
yeah.
Yes, that is
And
so true.
then she realizes at end of the movie or end of the TV series that money is not everything, and something emotional is more important. So that is other thing which we are often told as women, and which we have ingrained in our subconscious, that if you're rich, either you become unlikable, or people automatically stop liking you, or you almost become like unfeminine.
Oh, which is of
And
course hard because we're all trained to be likable because we're
exactly.
women. So if we subconsciously believe that having money, a lot of money, will make us unlikable, we try to not become unlikable and do anything kind of like against us.
Yeah, it's like
Oh.
like we're
Mhm.
all like, oh, secretly none of us wants to be like Jennifer Aniston's character in the morning show. Like we're all
Mm.
scared that if we get money, we'll turn into her, but she's fabulous, right?
She's amazing. Yes. Yeah.
So it's so that is the so we all have, and money blocks, you have to really delve into people's subconscious, because a lot of money blocks which we have, they come when before we were 7, because you
Yeah.
also see
The
money blocks.
formative years.
Exactly.
Mm.
And because you also see money blocks from what you were told as a child, as a what you were taught in school. For example, if your parents had a very strained relationship about with money, or you saw that your parents, one of your parents came from a well-to-do family and the other one didn't, and they had different views about money, and they had that tension in their relationship because of money, you automatically also engross that, and you
Mm.
almost go like, oh, money is a source, like if I have money, it's either it will create tension, or you also think that, oh, money means having a dispute with your loved ones or with your
Yeah.
family.
Yeah. That is so true. I remember like we were like growing up, we were like typical middle class family. And I just still remember like my parents, they were not arguing about money per se, but there were just really, there weren't any light talks about money.
Yeah.
Like money would only come up when money would be tight, or when we would need saving for a new car or for a vacation, whatever. But always in a really tense, not fun situation. So I always thought like, oh, okay, having much money is stressful and makes people tense and like, oh, why would you want that? And
Exactly.
until I realized, oh, actually, it's fun. It can be fun, but you really have to, yeah, do a lot of deprogramming.
Exactly. And also, like, for example, something like I remember I was told, and then a lot of people are told that if you ask for a new toy or new dress or something, that you said things like, oh, like, you just got one money. We don't have money growing on trees. So you almost end up growing up thinking, and even regardless of how much money you are making, that spending money on your own self and your own experiences and things which bring you joy, it's a guilty thing to do, because that inner child
Mm.
inside you is still going, oh God, I was scolded off
Yeah.
by my mom for asking for a new Barbie. Because that was my first thought when I saw Barbie. I suddenly like a memory flashed. Oh, I remember my mom told me I could only have one Barbie.
Yeah, right. These are these things. And it's so interesting. I once had, I don't even remember now where it was, but it was a master class from someone. Oh, I'm so bad right now with names, but it was super interesting. She was like, think back of the first memory you can recollect
Yes,
of
exactly.
money in your life. That was so interesting. I was like, whoa,
So
yeah,
I
so
make my
revealing.
I make my students do this, or my clients do this
Mm,
amazing exercise, and I'll come to money personalities after this, where I ask them to write in a paper all the memory they have about money, like starting from exactly what
mm,
she told you, starting from your first memory of money till your latest memory of money, which still triggers you. And it doesn't have to be big or small, just something which still triggers you after so many years, and write them all down. And then, then we would start to basically go through each memory one by one, sit with it and forgive it, just to release it.
mm,
Because forgiveness is not something which we do as a favor to others. When we forgive something, we're releasing that block, we're releasing that trauma which we have attached to that memory. And when you start doing it, you kind of, first time you do it, you go like, oh, I only have 9 things. But as you start getting deeper into this exercise,
mhm.
also like suddenly when you're doing nothing, something will pop up in your head. Oh, I hated that when that friend made me pay for something which I didn't buy, or something
Yeah.
small, which is for small, but it still,
Hmm.
irks you because you felt
Yeah,
you
I
were
mean, if you're
not
still
okay.
thinking about it 20, 30 years later, there's something there, right? Otherwise, it might not be so bright and fresh in your memory.
Yeah, but this is a very strong exercise. Do try doing it. So make a list of
Mm,
all your memories and then go through each one of them. Sit with it, like, just feel what comes without getting too attached to the emotion. Feel what's coming. And
mm,
then uh, I do this Hawaiian technique called Ho'oponopono, where you forgive it. So you say that I forgive you, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you.
mhm,
And with some memories, you would just need to do it once, but with
mm,
some the deep rooted ones, you'll have to do it quite a few times. And
mm,
sometimes it takes months and years for people to get over it. But then those are the ones which will make, once you let go of them, they will have the biggest impact in your life, because that's where the most trauma is.
mm,
It can be things
mhm,
like a painful divorce, or someone defrauded you, things which are really painful.
mhm. Yeah, and it's interesting how you said before, like how like money mindset can show up, and I'm curious if we could talk about this a bit. How we've said, like we said, you had obviously all your clients have money mindset challenges. Look, I mean, I'm not a money mindset coach. I work in branding, and even I have, like, I'd say almost all my clients at one point, I'm like, you should look into this. So how what are the manifestations, what are the telltale signs that are maybe a bit subtle than winning 50 million and losing 50 million? Yeah, yes, you got a money mindset problem, but what are the more subtle telltale signs of people who are listening now, like, oh, ooh, maybe I should do a little digging there?
So I think the most common, and I'll come to money personalities after this, I promise. Um, One of the most common signs which you would see is you feel almost you have a pattern around money. So if you don't mind my saying, the way you said, right, that you get a big saving and suddenly you are like, where is it? For some people, it can be they're perpetually in debt. It
Mm-hmm.
is nothing to do, there's nothing personal. Like they can have 100,000 pounds or they can have 100 pounds, or they can have a million, but they will still be in debt. And most of them are quite, especially women, right? No woman tries deliberately to be in debt. They often have, there's an emotional reason why they are in debt, right? They
Mm-hmm.
don't, women by nature don't get into, usually don't get into risky ventures unless someone emotionally convinces them. They are very mindful of the fact that, especially if they have a family, what the impact of their financial decisions would be on their family. But you see this pattern that they would always be in debt. Or the other one which I had, and I still struggle with it. As I said, money mindset is a lifelong issue.
Mm-hmm.
Like you never think there's enough. Like you can have
Scarcity mindset, like classic
scarcity.
scarcity mindset.
You always think that they would. It's not that it's not as much as like they can be two parts to it. Some people think they would never be enough, or some people think I can never have enough. Like I'll always, my desires would always be more than what's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And then because your subconscious is thinking that, it manifests in the fact exactly what you were telling earlier, that you do a super nice launch and you have like amazing cash coming in, but then there's a big bill because you our subconscious programs our beliefs, and our beliefs perform our our feelings and emotions, and our feelings and emotions basically determine how we act, which
Yeah.
determines our reality. So our reality is determined by basically what we believe and what we're telling
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. So if my subconscious is saying that there is not enough, but I've got this huge windfall, but something, my subconscious still believe that I'll never have enough in my life. So it has to do something to basically manifest this something so that that money basically goes. So even that
Yeah.
is not enough. So that is a big thing. But also things like a lot of times you see women, they'll be like, oh, I'm trying every strategy in world, and uh, but I'm not growing my business. I'm not still attracting my ideal client. And then you go like, like there are other people who are using the same strategies, but it's working for them. Uh, but we more or less everyone uses the same strategies, but there's a reason why it only
Mm-hmm.
works for few people, not for everyone who uses them. Why some people would use
Mm-hmm.
the same strategy and create something so amazing,
Yeah.
whereas some people would keep doing it, but they would still be stuck. It's almost like being an athlete, right? They all get the same nutrition, they all get the same coach, they get the same training, but only some make it to the top
Yeah.
five. And that is also one of the big sign that you have an issue. The other one's
Mm.
also like almost a sense of fear around money, that like and you see that in the fact that they would go like, oh, I don't manage my money, like I have a joint account with my partner, he does everything. And I have some business like clients who are business women, and they go like, I have a joint account, so my partner manages my money, and I'm like, but it is money coming from your business, which is
Yeah.
going into that
This is
account.
like no shame, no judgment. This is wild to me, right? But then again, I'm a burnt child of divorce.
Yeah,
So I'm like, you gotta have your own money.
Yeah. So when you hear exactly right, and so when you hear things like, but your reality is very different from that, right? Uh, when you see things like this, you kind of wonder that, oh, what is going on, and you start dwelling more deeply into it. Also,
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, you often find that there's some women who feel that they're not respected in their family as much as others because they don't earn as much as other members of the family. Especially, a lot of women uh,
Mm.
who are slightly, maybe let's say, two generations older than us, and who were
Mm.
basically born to be bred, basically born
Yeah,
to be homemakers, in that
it's a
sense, which is
different
amazing
generation.
too.
Yes, and
It's
different and
amazing
cultural
too.
differences.
So, when you start seeing these things, you start kind of thinking that something is not working. There definitely mindset issues,
Mm.
and we need to find out what the mindset issue is, and then you start the whole program about
Mm-hmm.
finding what the issue is,
Releasing. Mm.
and then releasing it. And there are two parts to finding it. Then the first is, of
Mm.
course, like all the blocks which you have around money,
Mm-hmm.
and the second is that's when your money personality comes in. So you have 8 money personalities, and your money personality is almost like your Myers-Briggs, which is
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I'm an
communication.
Enneagram 7, so no surprise I spent on experiences.
I'm ENFP. I can't pronounce
Oh,
it.
an ENFP. Oh, I'm also an ENFP.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, fair enough. Yes.
So, uh, so it's like how, but that's about how you communicate.
Hmm.
So, and your money personality is how you relate to money, and your money personality
Oh.
determines what your set thoughts and feelings are about money, what your beliefs are around money,
Mm.
what are your
Kind of like, what are
sabotage
your strengths? Like, or
exactly.
mm.
And like there are 8 money personalities, and they're all very, very different, and they are basically if you kind of look at them, you have one of the many personalities, the saver, which is like an inner banker. These are the people who are always trying to save, right? This is your friend who would annoy you when she goes to the movies because she will go and try to look at 3 deals to save 1 quid on popcorn.
Yeah, not me.
Not me either.
Not me.
Then you have visionaries, the inner idealist,
Mhm.
which are people who basically, for them, money is a tool to bring change in world. So they have almost have a love and hate relationship with money because they personally don't care about money, but they realize that if they have money, they can use it to change the world. A lot of activists and people who run charities, they fall under this category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
The
I can
third
totally relate, right? Like yeah, no, I mean, it's right. Like the more money I make, the more, like, I know, like 8 to 10% of my yearly income goes to charities. So I
oh,
know the more I make, the more I can give to causes I care deeply about. So I can relate. Yeah.
that is so amazing. Oh, you well done, you. Then you have the superstars who are like in a big show. So these are the people for whom money is a way of standing on crowd. So these
Mm.
are the people who would, every time they go to a restaurant, or every time they buy a bag, or every time they get a new iPhone, or every time they fly on business class, it's all over the social media because for them, money is a way of standing out in the crowd.
Status.
Exactly.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Then you have the uniters, who are the relationship creators. For them, money is not important. Like it, building relationships is more important, and money can be a result of building those relations. So you
Mm-hmm.
would often see, like people like us who provide services. You would see it in people like they have this one client for years and years and years, and they have not increased their price with them, but the client
Mm-hmm.
stays with them, and they love having the client because they're prioritizing the relationship with the client, and the
Mm-hmm.
money is basically just an afterthought of what has come
Mm-hmm.
from that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the rebels, or iconoclasts as I call them. These are the people who love making money but by unconventional ways. So in the sense, like people who are gamblers, or also like people business people who love
Startup founders, like,
Elon Musk, perfect
yeah.
example. They will take
Mm-hmm.
something which is per working, but they will try to change it, and it can go either really well like Tesla, or
Really
not so
bad.
well like
Like,
Twitter, or X, or whatever it's called now. I
I
can't really keep up with it.
yeah,
Uh,
I still call
or
it Twitter. I'm sorry. Like, it's
I
not.
say that. Or Steve Jobs, like even like when he created Apple, no one has even thought about something like that. So these are
Oh
the people
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
who will like come and shake our industry. Then you have
Mm-hmm.
the carers, and these are the people who use money. They hate spending on themselves, but they love to spend money on others. Money is a way
Okay, so
of
stereotypical mom spending, right? Like not buying shoes for herself, but buying shoes for the kids.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the sensualist, and I think you fall in this category. I'll like it is also one of my dominant money personalities. Sensualists are the people who love spending on feeling good. So they love spending on experiences, in having a luxury meal, in wearing something very comfortable and nice. Like sensualist will also like to travel business class, but the difference is this, that superstar is doing that to
Mm-hmm.
basically stand out and show off. The
Yeah.
sensualist is just doing because they want to be comfortable. So
Yes, yeah. No, I can relate. Like this is like this reminds me of this like so annoying. Are you on TikTok, Sam?
yes, I am on TikTok.
You you know that super annoying like quiet money fashion styles. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So it super reminds me of that, right? Like I have designer bags and I like those bags, but I I hate the bags with the big logos on. It's just like I don't know, not my style. Like so. I'm more the Chloe girl who has just like a nice print Chloe on there.
No,
So I feel that's kind of like the same similar vibe, right? Like you like the same things with maybe similar changes, but your energies behind it are totally different.
exactly. So, for example, like my sister, bless her, for my birthday, she wanted to give me a Stella McCartney bag, and I love Stella McCartney because I just love her ethos about, because
Yeah,
I'm
she
mostly
does.
plant-based.
Mm-hmm.
She's environmental friendly, and
Yes.
like she doesn't use this leather. And when I went to her showroom, I was appalled because all the bags had this like huge gold logo saying Stella
Oh,
McCartney, and with the gold thing on the top on the handle. And I'm like, I would die rather than to ever like carry Stella McCartney or not. And then I found like a more discreet one,
yeah.
and I'm like, that's what I'm doing. So exactly. So like, like you get what I'm saying here.
Yes. Yes. I guess. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Like it's also I don't know. Yeah, it's one thing if you fly business class because I don't know you want to work and you need more space or you feel more comfortable traveling or if you want to feel business class fly business class because it makes people tell something about you.
Exactly. And like, or you just want to be comfortable, right? Like I just want to be comfortable. I just
Yeah,
like having my glass of champagne and watching boring movies on it.
I never before I had kid I my partner and I we never got the point of like those luxury all inclusive resorts. Like we're like what's the point of that, right? That's not how we travel. Oh boy, it's the only way we travel since we have a kid.
I can imagine. Oh my
It's like
God.
so good, so good.
And then you have the last one, which is a ruler. And for them, it's all
Mm.
about making money, in the sense that they want to leave a legacy. It's about building an empire.
Okay, so it's really about the money. So for the most types it's right for the most types it's not per se about the money but
Yeah,
what money can mean buy do, and for the rulers it's really the money
yeah.
as the money. Yeah, okay.
Money or building a legacy. So like they want to build empires. They want to leave something. They want to create something
Okay.
solid. It's this thing, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
with either building a legacy or building something of their own because they're the
Yeah.
rulers, or it's about like create having lots and lots of money.
Mm.
So these are your money personality types, and we all
Mm.
fall under one of them. There is no right or wrong money personality type. We all have the most dominant money personality type, and we also have two other money personalities apart from the most dominant one, which also impacts it.
Mm.
So, for example, like you can be I'm a ruler, but I'm also my sensualist is actually very close to my ruler, and
Mm-hmm.
they often clash. My boyfriend is very interesting. He is a saver. He's a big
Mm.
saver. So he's a saver, if
Yes.
inclined,
Oh
and
yep,
a
I can
sensualist.
imagine the conversation you have because we have similar ones.
Yeah, and a sensualist. So he's always having this tug of war that one side of his brain is going that, oh my God, I need this experience. Like, this is like amazing. But the other one is going, oh, this is very expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if this goes for you too, but like a conversation we have often is our financial, our level of financial safety isn't the same.
Yeah.
Right? Like I feel perfectly safe when I don't know, when I have my retirement account that's filled, and we have like a 1K immediate emergency fund, and like 4 or 5 months expenses. And then I'm like, I feel safe, that's fine. And he would rather have like a year to kind of like feel safe. And I'm like,
He's definitely a saver.
yeah,
You
for
should take
sure.
you can take if you go, I'll send you the link.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have sent it as a part of this
Yes,
podcast.
we will link it in the show notes. The assessment to
Good.
find the money personality. Yes, everyone go do that.
And you should do it with your husband because it's very
Yes.
interesting because I often come in, I think it's her. I mean, I don't specialize in it, but for anyone who wants, I'm opening it out. Anyone who wants to specialize in it, this is a big field about spouses having different money personality types. It's like it's a different topic.
But
Imagine.
yes, we're gonna do another podcast episode on that
Oh,
because
perfect.
I
Let's
feel
do
that's like
that. So it is think, but then it also impacts a business. So, for example,
Mhm.
imagine if you are in business partnership with someone that you are a
So
saver,
true.
but your
Yes.
business partner is let's say, a superstar or a essentialist, and you are trying to everything that you're doing in your business, you're trying to cut the cost, and you're going for the cheapest alternative or try to do it yourself. But if it's essentialist is going, I want an easy life. If we can afford a VA, let's get a
Yeah,
VA.
let's what we can outsource, we outsource, whatever, right?
Exactly. We do
Yes, I
things
feel
we
seen.
enjoy. We do
I feel
things which
seen.
we enjoy. Or if the person is basically a celebrity, they want to basically do the launch in
Mm.
the most expensive place. They want the most glitzy marketing, or it will just not work.
Yeah, it
So
will clash a lot of the time. So you have this is super helpful to kind of like have a basic understanding of why you're clashing, and then how we can bridge this. Like, because I'm sure like same is also not necessarily working, right?
no,
If we
no,
have two essentialists, we're just like woohoo, having a
nobody will say
party,
anything.
right? So how can we find how do we balance?
It's by understanding. So it is just like,
Mm.
like for example, like I am a ENFP, but I found out one of my old bosses was not, and I totally understood it. Once I understood, I used to take it quite personally, but before I realized what his personality type was, then I was like, oh, that's what he wants. He wants more detail than I do. It's nothing to do with him personally disliking me. It's to do
Mm-hmm.
with how his brain is wired, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing, like it's about understanding the other person, and that's why doing that assessment becomes so important, and understanding what their strengths and what their thoughts. And I don't like the word, I don't use the word weakness, what their shadow side about the monies, and we all have a shadow side.
Every type, yes, absolutely.
So like after I got into, like, I have been with my partner for years, and after I got into like money personalities, I kind of realized that, oh, like all these things which used to annoy me when he was trying to, like, but what I used to think was being cheap, and he was not. He was just being true to his money personality type. And when he
Mm.
thought, like, that I was super extravagant to spend 80 quid on a shampoo and conditioner because it smelled nice, and I felt like, my hair felt nice. He thought I was just being ridiculously
Yes, and
extravagant.
it's handing you like the Pantene Pro V, and you're like here, and you're like,
Exactly. And then, like, it's just about understanding like what the money
mm,
personality types are, and just knowing that people are acting like that and meeting in the middle way. And as you said very correctly, right, if you both are exactly the same, whether it's a professional relationship or a romantic relationship, it will not work. Imagine two rulers together, they will bite each other's head off. Or two savers together, like,
mm,
so you need that difference. And at the same time, because it's a money personality, plus we also have the two other dominant personalities after
mm-hmm.
that. It's also that finding that balance, that maybe one of your dominant ones is actually same, so that's like a common point. So right, so you definitely have a saver somewhere,
Mm.
because you did say that you like to, you do all, like there's some people who don't care about savings. They're just happy living paycheck to paycheck. It doesn't, again, I don't judge.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. No. Like there's this is completely judgment free zone. And I'd say I was more dad. I'd say that changed for sure after I had my son.
yeah.
Right. Then I was more of like, oh, okay. Maybe like just realizing that the paycheck to paycheck, it was not doing me and my nervous system any good. It was
Yeah.
just every time I don't know, it was time to pay the bills, I would be just restless and anxious and just like so I realized that's not good. We're not going to do that. We're going to stop that.
No, exactly. So, but his is obviously very dominant from what you were saying, 1 year, like,
Surely more definite than mine. Absolutely.
and this also then comes to like your business strategies, because as you
Mm.
can see, people have such different attitude towards money. And if you start giving them cookie cutter business strategies, it's not really going to work, right? The same business strategy, for example, the same marketing strategy for a saver or a centralist or a superstar is never ever going to work. Or for a carer, if you tell a carer that, oh, you need to
Mm.
go on your stories every day and, talk to your community about how you're spending your money, or they'll be like, I don't care. And also the business model. So, for example, someone who is
Mm.
a carer or a uniter, they would probably feel always more comfortable doing one-to-ones. They may not feel that comfortable doing like a
Like
group
an
program.
anonymous online course or something like that.
Yeah, or a group program.
Interesting. Oh
Like,
yeah, interesting.
because they want to build a relationship with their clients.
Mm.
But a ruler or a celebrity would perhaps be really good in a group program, because because they're building their empire, or and a celebrity because they're center of attention. So or so it is
Mm.
it impacts all aspects of your business. And that's why I always tell people that cookie cutter business strategies don't work. And that's why if you're just following, you're seeing someone
Yes.
on Instagram and
That's why you're
following
on the
what they're
Scenic Route
doing.
podcast, where like always telling people cookie cutter just is not cutting it.
And you can tell people to do things which are not aligned, because our values towards money is determined by money personalities to a great extent.
Mm-hmm.
And you can always tell people that, oh, you need to do this, and they will do it for a bit, but they will never be able to do it consistently if it's something which aligns with their values. So it's better
Yes.
to be yourself and maybe have a slower growth, to slower scaling to where you want to be, but do
Mm-hmm.
it in a sustainable way, rather than trying to do something doesn't align with who you are,
Yes.
and then reaching a goal and then just basically having that sabotaging yourself
Yeah, or
because
burnout because
yeah.
it took everything from you that you had to get there. Oh yeah, I can so agree. Right? Because it's always you're trying, and I see that especially a lot of people who are new to online business world getting into that trap, right? Because we're all every day, all day, we're marketed this online course to fix your problems, that business strategy to fix whatever, right? And it's just like you're like, oh, okay, these people earn millions, so they know what they're talking about, whatever. You do that, and it's just like maybe not working at all, or it's working completely against you, and it's just really having more knowledge about how you're wired can really save you from a lot of heartache and financial spending.
No, exactly. I just like, and just, I keep working on your, what I call as your internal money thermostat. So we all have internal money thermostat. So it's like for some
Interesting.
people, it's very easy to make up to, let's say, 5,000 pounds. And uh, and whatever job they do, they will make that 5,000 pounds, or business they do. But then to make it to 10,000 pounds a month, you need to rewire what I called as your money thermostat or money
Yeah.
blueprint. Thermostat, because once you increase the thermostat or adjust it in the room,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
temperature automatically goes there and stays. If you have one of those
Yeah.
automatic ones, it stays there. So then you basically increase it to 10 for a month, and you have to then rewire yourself to do it. Then you do it whatever level you want to go, whatever
Mm.
it is that you want to do. But it is always like, doing, as you said, doing that internal work, which can save you a lot of time later.
So I can already hear, if this would be like a live radio call-in show, I would hear phones right now of like people to be like, Sam, I want to dial to 25 pounds a month. How can I do that? What do I have to dial on my thermostat?
So I think the first thing you'll have to look is, apart from doing your money personality, which will give what your thoughts about
Mm-hmm.
our money, but the first thing we'll have to see is why you're not earning why you're not earning 25,000 pounds now. So what has had it stopped you? So if you say that I'm not educated enough, there are a lot of people who are not educated. They're earning that.
Yeah.
So you always have to. I always use that as inspiration. That if like there's someone like me, I'm like, oh, if this person can do this, like why can't I? Why
Mm-hmm.
can't, rather than saying that, oh, I can never do it, I like, why not me? If she can do it, why not me?
Mm-hmm.
So first is why you're not doing it. So we go through basically all the money blocks and money sabotages that you have, and we find out a way of how we can, rewire them. And there
Mm-hmm.
are a lot of exercises which you can do, both like on your beliefs and NLP and hypnosis. Working on the beliefs is the fastest, I believe, because it's a more
Mm-hmm.
sustainable way of doing things. So
Mm-hmm.
you have a look at that. The second thing you see is you already start becoming the person who earns $25,000 a month. So you
Yes.
go like, you think about, uh, what does this person uh, thinks, feels, how do they act,
How
how
do
does
they
he
carry
feel?
themselves through the day? Right?
Exactly.
Mm.
Is she a person who, for example, like when I was trying to reach my last level of income, and like, even now when I'm trying to reach my next level of income, I always think, will this woman actually, like, when you go out with your girlfriends and you had a drink, will she actually be bitching about a friend who is not there? No, because she's so happy in her world that
Yeah.
she's almost like Barbie, right? But she's in the
Yeah.
first half of the
I
movie,
can, yeah.
not the second half, the first
I
half
had the
of the movie.
same. I had the same conversation with myself. I'm like, no, she will not bitch about them. She will not gossip about them. And
So
yeah.
yeah, go on. No, exactly. So, and think about what is she passionate about? What does she cares about? And try, and I'm talking she because, talking about women, but it applies, all of this applies equally to man. And then you start doing as much of it as now. So yes,
Mm,
you can't maybe buy a designer handbag, but you can clean your handbag. You do what I call as incremental increases.
mm,
So if you suddenly go and, like, I always tell, when I hear someone say that, oh, my previous money coach told me that go buy a designer bag to feel rich, but now I feel really bad because I put it on my credit card, and I'm like, that's the worst way to do it. You do an incremental increase, because first of all, your mind cannot take it.
yeah.
And
Like if you go from your thermostat from 5,000 a month to, I don't know, let's say 100K a month, your entire body's like all
yeah,
over the place, right?
but you do small incremental changes. So you
Mm-hmm.
kind of go like, or maybe she takes better care of herself. So, like, I'll always, at least if I can't wash my hair every day, I'll at least make it an attempt to put some dry shampoo on it before and, brush it and
Mm-hmm.
before I go on a call. And you try doing as many of those things as possible, and you will find that slowly, slowly you will start increasing it. So
Mm-hmm.
after a while, you kind of go like, oh, I can do this better, like I can do this. So it is already becoming the person who you want to be. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like, I don't know, like, have you, like, if anyone here who has done a corporate job, or they know that they always tell you that to go for the promotion at the next
Yeah.
level, you have to
Always,
become that
always. And you
person
want to have the
low
corner
level.
office and like, and I had the corner office and it was fucking miserable. So there you go.
Exactly. So, like, for example, if you are a manager who wants to become a director, you have to become the director as a manager, even though you're not getting that salary. So it's the same. I feel sometimes that people in corporate world actually do it much better than people like us in business world, because they're trained, right? That they'll always have someone telling them, but you need to do the job before you get the job.
Mm-hmm.
so, so it's almost like that. You need to
Mm-hmm.
become that person before
Yeah.
you actually become person, and before you actually
Mm.
start seeing the money coming in.
You know what? Like besides from that, like what we said, like we're not bitching about the person not here or not gossiping about it. You know what was one of the other major things that I released and I'm still currently doing? I'm like, people who are really good with big money, they're not spending so much time going back and forth whether they should spend that money or not. So
Very
I really lowered the time of me thinking about whether I should spend that money or not. I mean, I don't know, maybe a year ago, I would have something in my cart or sign up for a course, whatever, not even like big money, maybe $300-400 for something. And I would think about it for a week or 2 weeks. And now it's just like, yeah, let's do. I mean, we're smart, we're capable, we can make decisions. And now I'm just like, yes, okay, I want to do this. Do you have the money for it? Yes, go. And
Yeah,
not
that's such a good point. And also one of the things which I had to change in myself, and I'm still working on it, is I found out that a woman who let's say makes more than 500K a year, she would be very generous with the causes, but she would never be taken as a fool for money. So she would know that where, like, she would not have subscriptions where she doesn't know, like, like, so if I have 500,000 coming every year, I would have investments and stuff. So she would not be like, she wouldn't be like that. Oh, I don't know where my investments are uh, going or what's happening to them. So I don't
she's in
have.
care, she's in
Yeah.
control of, yeah.
Exactly. She has taken her power back with respect to money. And I was like, okay, I don't have big investments, but I can do that same thing with my subscriptions. So I can
Yes.
see, like, I go through my subscription list and see, like, have I used it? Have I used
Yes,
it?
such a good point.
And it's quite interesting because I was doing what I call this as a part of decluttering exercise. I do it with my clients, and I was doing it for myself. And today I saw my Wi-Fi bill, and I was like, "What is this extra? It's only 6 quid a month, but it is. I'm sending a signal to the universe that I can't be trusted with money, because
Yeah.
what is this extra 6 quid?" And then I was like, it's for extra fast landline, and I don't have a landline. So why have I been paying that for 2 years?
Yeah, right. It's yeah, same. I every year I go through my descriptions and be like, no, I actually like just this year I canceled Dipsado because I just wasn't using it enough, and be like, I don't know, whatever I thought I needed, but anyway, that's different. So that's a really good point of really going through um yeah, your subscriptions, and it might not be about the £6, right? But just seeing like,
It's about sending us message to the universe.
yes, and taking it
You can
seriously, taking the power back. Yes.
Exactly. So it's about, so that for me, that was a big thing, that a woman who, like, she would be very, very generous, as you said, right? You give, I'm so
Mm-hmm.
inspired that, like, that you give 10 to 12, 20% of your earnings in charities. But so she would be very generous, but she would appreciate money.
Mm-hmm.
She would spend it on where, or the things which are dear to her, but she
Mm-hmm.
would not be taken for a fool where her money is concerned,
Mm-hmm.
because she will never reach five. She'll never become like a
Yes,
employed
yes,
person with
absolutely.
500.
Yeah.
She was doing that.
Oh, I love this. Yeah, this is was I think this is such an inspiring note to end our conversation, to really be mindful of where you can just reclaim your money powers, right? Whether it's might be small with subscriptions or bigger with investments, it doesn't matter, right? You can start right where you're at. I think that's a super powerful message. Sam, where can people get in touch with you? Where do you hang out online? Where can people meet you?
Thank you for asking. So you can find me on Instagram at in.her.successful.shoes, and you can email me at sameerasinghcoach.com. I'm sure Jennifer would
We will
put
link
the
it.
links there. And you can also find me on my free Facebook community, or take the pre-assessment to find a money personality. I love hearing back from people when they take the assessment to find out what money personality there is.
That's so interesting.
It's very interesting.
I
So
get
thank
that.
you.
And I've always one last question for anyone who's on the Cine Grade. What book are you currently reading?
What book I'm currently reading?
Mhm.
Well, I am a total bookworm. So I'm rereading The Midnight Library. It's one of my favorite books. I
Oh,
absolutely love it. It's so
yes.
beautifully written.
Oh, yes. The Midnight Library is gorgeous. Yes.
I love it. So I'm rereading
Mm.
that. And I love reading any kind of stuff. but yeah, that's the latest on my list. The other one I'm going to read after I finish that is, I just saw this BBC thriller called Wolf. It's based on the, like,
Wolf.
this Wolf.
Okay.
It's based on the serial killer.
I
So
love
I know the
BBC.
story
I've
now.
loved BBC crime things. I've never heard of that. Okay, I have
I
to.
think they do amazing. I love the crime.
They're
But I'm
DC. Yes.
British. I'm British, so I'm very biased towards BBC.
No, but seriously, I mean, they have great crime series. BBC crime series are really cool. Like they've done amazing series. Okay, so good. So now we have what we have to watch next, and also what we have to read next. This is amazing. I like that. That's very good. Hey, Sam, thank you so much for this conversation around money. Thank you so much for being on a scenic route with me.
Thank you, Jennifer. It was my pleasure, an absolute honor to be here and to be in front of your amazing audience. And your energy is so beautiful.
Thank you so much.